Hello, everybody. Just gonna wait for a couple more people to join on, and we're gonna have a little session with Courtney Mack here. Hi, everybody. Yes, we are gonna be going live with Courtney Mack from Six the Musical. So, Courtney, whenever you're ready, I guess hit the request to join. That'll be awesome. So before Courtney comes on, I'm just going to introduce her before we start this live. So Courtney Mack is making her Broadway debut as one of the alternates in Six the Musical at the Brooke Atkinson Theater. Besides Six, her recent theater credits include Ghost the Musical, Million Dollar Quartet, and Heathers the Musical. Courtney received a Jeff Award for playing Veronica Sawyer in that production of Heathers. Everybody show some love in the comments for Courtney Mack. Courtney is send request for Courtney. Hey, Courtney.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So how's it been? How's it been going since the Broadway shutdown, basically?
Um, it's going. I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of have to figure out what you need to do um,
Yeah.
as like a person. I noticed for me the hardest thing was like a routine because we
Okay. Yeah.
we we had to be at the theater a certain time. Like some days, Nicole and I, we had rehearsals. So I feel like my schedule for New York was I was starting to like get used to it and then
Right.
and and then I had to like figure out what to do with myself.
Yeah, I know. It's like crazy because it was just, I felt so bad. And I hate bringing this up because it happens in every Six interview, but it was your opening night.
I
That
know.
must have been so sucky and like so annoying.
The the crappiest thing was that like my whole family, my fiance and his mom, they like came that morning. Um,
Hmm.
they flew in and I think they got there around like 10 o'clock and then we went and got lunch. We came back
Yeah.
and and then I made a cute little post on Instagram and then someone
Yeah.
commented and was like, honey, don't you know Broadway is shut down?
Oh,
Something like that. And I was
yeah.
like, one, why did you do that? Why did you have to say that? Like,
Yeah, you're like, I'm trying to have a nice moment with my family. And then,
and then, but then, like, nobody knew what was happening. We were all
right.
like, mm, like, should we go to the theater? Should we take a
Hmm.
shower right now? Do we need to shave our legs? Like,
What do I have? Do I have to get my hair ready for this, for the red carpet? Like, what do,
yeah,
yeah, you're like, I want to be ready to know what I have to do.
yeah. So it was crazy. And then we were just like, we should
Oh,
kind of, oh,
is my connect? Are we good? Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay, good. I don't know what
inter.
happened. Are you good?
Okay.
We good? We're
Are you, can
good.
you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. You're good. Can you?
Uh,
Good.
so the next day, I flew out with my family because we were kind of like, let's get the hell out of Dodge, kind of a thing.
Right.
So then I went home, and then I've been here ever since.
Wow. And since the shutdown, you got engaged, which is so exciting. Shut up, ring. Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Um, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I know this year is kind of like a dumpster fire, but I feel like I probably wouldn't have gotten engaged unless,
Yeah. Unless this happened.
yeah. So, I mean, there's always some kind of positive, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. I take it was a surprise for you, like
oh yeah.
a
I mean,
total shock.
it's like we talked about getting engaged like a couple months after dating. Like we both knew.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, so I feel like if it was up to him, we probably would have gotten married by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a surprise and um he was acting weird like the whole day because he asked me like, oh, like let's try to, stay fit together and like work out as a couple. So we went to this full like hiking trail that was like an hour away, and it was like a date. So I was like, I want to look somewhat nice, and
Right.
I got out of the bathroom, and he was like, "Are you wearing makeup?" And I was like, "Get it, lay off, man." I was like, "This is a date. Come on, I want to look nice, even if I'm gonna be
Right.
sweaty and gross."
Yeah, and it turned out for a great reason that you put your makeup on for that
I
little
know,
date.
I know.
That, that's so exciting. And before we get into any questions, so if anyone wants to comment questions for Courtney, we'll answer them throughout the live stream. But before that, I just wanted to say, you know this, I think you are an incredible performer. I think you
Oh,
are just awesome. And when I saw the show, because if any of the viewers who don't know, I saw the show Six twice at ART and lost my mind both times. I could not believe that this show was coming to Boston necessarily. I was like, because a lot of the shows at ART are pre Broadway tryouts necessarily, and there wasn't any news at the time yet. I'm pretty sure that Six is transferring, so I was just, oh my gosh, this huge thing is coming, and everybody who hasn't seen Courtney and any of the queens, but especially Kay Howard, your performance left. I was like, oh my gosh, sitting front row, your eye
oh,
contact was killer. Like, I don't know why. I just remember your eyes were like crushing it. Made me feel like I was in the show. And then you're all you want to do is breathtaking. Like, do you have any want to share any stories about how you started your journey out with Six? Because it was very different compared to the rest of the queens.
yeah, it was. First off, thank you for all of your kind words.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my like transition into Six was super, super weird. I was actually working on a cruise ship, and I got a text message from Roberta Duchek, who is one of our music directors, and she was also my voice teacher in Chicago. Like, so I already knew her. So she messaged me and she was like, "When are you getting off the ship?" And I was like, I think May 12th or something. Um, and I was like, why? She was like, oh, we're looking for so and so for this show Six. And so I emailed my agent right away and I was like, so they just contacted me. I'd love to, send in anything. Like, and at that point, I was like, get me off of this ship. I was done. Like, ship
Yeah, you're like, I want to
me.
be on land.
Yeah, for sure. And so then they sent me sides. They sent me Seymour sides, Boleyn sides, then Howard sides, and I had like monologues and I had some songs, and then um, they sent me dance videos.
Oh my gosh.
So then I learned like it was real rough. I feel like if I went back and I looked at them, they would be just super embarrassing.
I bet they
But
were amazing. I bet they
and
were great.
well, I'm here anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Um, but I I I sent in all of that. I think I sent in probably like 13 videos
Oh
total,
wow.
and I sent some like like me being on the ship performing as well. And then um I on the 12th I was coming back to New York. We were over in um France or Brussels.
Wow.
We had like a transatlantic, so we were flying from Europe to New York, and I was also practicing for Beautiful, the national tour,
Okay.
um, because I had an audition right when I got back, and they were like, "Oh, well, the six people." They were like, "Oh, we'll just rent out a room, and then you can do the audition. We'll get you an accompanist, and we'll just like video chat audition." And I was like, that gives me anxiety, especially being, like my first ever New York audition.
Right. Yeah.
And then I got super sick.
Oh
I like
no.
had no voice. I couldn't sing. I had a fever, I think, on the plane. Um, this was
Wow.
like also pre-COVID, so just saying.
Noted. Noted.
And uh yeah, we got to New York and I was messaging my agent on the plane. I was like, I can't do this. I need to cancel both of them. Um, and so then we just went home. And I had said, like, we're going to be in Chicago the next couple of days. So I can, you know, I'm still sick, but I can audition and do whatever. And so they had me come in the next week. I saw the first preview of the
Oh wow.
show, like in awe. And like after I got it, the girls were like, "Oh, that first preview was rough. It was so bad." And I was like, "Are you
Oh
guys
wow.
kidding me?" I was like, my mouth was on the floor the whole time. I was just like, I was seriously in awe because everybody was so amazing. And the show itself is so good. It kind of
Yeah.
slaps you in the face the first time you see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what was really funny before my audition, or like while I was watching the preview, I was sitting next to Carrie Ann, the choreographer. And so I
Uh-huh.
turned to her and I was like, "Are you the choreographer? Because you look super familiar." Like,
Hmm.
because I got videos sent of the dances and she was doing the dances. So I was like, and she was like, "Yes, yeah, I am." And I was like, "Oh, I'm Courtney. I'm auditioning tomorrow." And she was like, "What?" I don't even think she knew there was an audition happening. And she asked, "Are you dancing?" And I was like, "I think so." I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. And then the next day I had my audition. It was super fun. Everybody was so nice. And then I think either the next day or the day after, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be a replacement for Sam Polly for the end of the Chicago run, and then in Boston." So yeah, it was
Okay.
just, and then I learned the show in like 8 days, and it just
Wow.
flew by. It was
And
crazy.
with a show like Six, I know it's 75 minutes, but it's still 75 minutes of all of you guys on stage. You have one exit to leave after or to get ready for Holbein, but you guys are on that stage. It is like doing the 2 hour, like a 2 hour show, basically,
Yeah, for
or
sure.
more, because you're dancing the whole time.
Yeah, and like like I was telling somebody this the other day, having to go on um like now being a understudy, having to
Mm.
go on and notice, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I feel like I just ran a marathon because you don't have the stamina to like
Right.
do the show. Um, so yeah, it's really like a beast in itself. And like the singing is hardcore, the dancing is hardcore, the acting, maybe not as much, but like it's still all very much like,
Right. Yeah. And my next question, you kind of got into it. I was going to ask, when you were in Boston or Cambridge, did you know ahead of time that you were going to be continuing on with the show? Because I know you came in a little bit towards the end of Edmonton. You stood by for St. Paul, but did you know ahead of time that you were
yeah,
going to be with the show still?
yeah, it was, I think we ended the show. Maybe you don't know because I don't remember.
For
But uh,
Boston?
for Chicago, didn't I think we ended
I
it
think
maybe July or August,
I'm
something
gonna
like that.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say maybe early August. That's my guess because Boston was like middle August.
Yeah, and I think we had maybe like a couple weeks off in between. Um, so I had overheard that they were like, "What's gonna happen? Like, are they going to pick Sam Polly? Are they gonna pick Courtney? Are they gonna? I hope they pick both," kind of a thing.
Hmm.
Um, and so I we were all kind of like I don't know. I was freaking out because I was like, you know,
Well, yeah, because you're part of you were put in this situation. You're like, I hope I
yeah,
get to stay. I like this job.
yeah, yeah. And it was super weird, just like coming in mid show too, like having
Hmm.
to placement. Um, but I got a call. I was going to my fiance's baseball game because he um, is a professional baseball player, or at least he was. He's now retired. um, but he had a baseball game, so I was over in that area, and I was going to go take a workout class. And I got a call from my agent while I was waiting, and she was like, "You're going to effing Broadway!" Like, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
She was like, "You're gonna be um, an understudy for two roles." Um, like I think Kay Howard and Boleyn, she said, or I don't really remember because it was such a long time ago.
Right.
Um, but yeah, we talked for a while, and I didn't really know how to feel. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this workout class because," sorry, my fiance just
No, you're
tried
good.
calling
You're
me.
good.
Um,
That's okay. That's okay.
uh, my agent, she was like, "Oh no, 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 no! I was going into this class to work out, and I was like, oh, this will relieve some of the stress that I'm feeling, or like whatever sort of energy that I'm feeling right now." It didn't. I was glaring at the teacher the whole time because I've been like on her ears because I was like, I don't know how to feel. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think Mallory, she messaged me and she was like, "Do you have something to tell me?" And I was like, "Do you have something to tell me?" And then we started talking about it. And yeah, so I found out before Boston. We all found out before Boston. And then, yeah, I'm glad I'm still a part of the show.
I know. I'm so happy because obviously us fans, we didn't know what was going on. We knew Sam was in London. We knew you were here, and we're like, I was like, oh, they can't let Courtney out. I was like, Courtney's got to stay. I was like, if they cast you as the role, I was like, they got to at least keep her. She went through the whole audition process, and look,
Yeah.
you made your Broadway debut. And no, sorry, you go.
And yeah, I thought maybe they would have me like audition again or something. Like, I think somebody had mentioned that. Like, oh, what if they make you audition again to like be a swing or whatever? And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like fine.
I'm grateful for the job. So,
Yeah, and like when since you were saying like when you got to Broadway, you obviously added on another role. You added on four more roles basically because
yeah.
you
So,
had learned because you knew Kay Howard, and then if you want to talk about how you had to learn all the other tracks, that's crazy.
yeah, well, in my contract, or like not my contract, but like in the agreement that everybody had, um, they couldn't bring me along to Canada.
Okay.
And things started to happen and they rushed me there that last week. Um, and I had to go on for Sam, that very first show that I was there for, and then the very last show. Um, and then during that week, people were telling me, you're going to have to learn three tracks. You're going to have to
Wow.
learn um, Howard. Well, I already knew Howard, but
Mhm.
Boleyn and Seymour.
Okay.
I was like, why? What's happening? um, and there were talks at that point of like maybe Abby is going to be not going to be involved in the Minnesota run. Um,
Hmm.
and it wasn't until later we found out that Brittany wasn't going to be involved in the Minnesota run. So then I felt like, and And we started in Minnesota right away after, it was like a day after we got back from Canada.
Wow.
And so I was super stressed because I was like, it's said in my contract I was only covering 2, and then now they're making it 3. And there was just like a whole bunch of confusion.
Yeah.
So I had to go on for Berlin the one time. I went to Howard, I think, once in Minnesota. Um, and then it wasn't until later, I think, that we found out that we were each covering 5.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah.
was told we were just doing 2, I
Right.
think. So it
Okay.
was just like miscommunication on everybody's parts, and it was weird. I don't know.
And then in St. Paul, you got to go on for Berlin for the first time, and then Berlin actually got to be your Broadway debut
Yeah,
queen. Was that in a way having Berlin as your Broadway debut queen special in a way? Even though you have had so much history with Kay Howard, was it fun to do a different queen to be your debut?
I feel like I definitely redeemed myself having it be Berlin as my Broadway debut, because when I went on in Minnesota, I was just learning Berlin. I had literally just learned All You Want to Do, the choreography. And I remember I was with my fiance. It was the day after opening. I was with my fiance and we had to get new snow tires for our car. So we were out and getting some tires. And I got a call from my stage manager and she was like, "You're going on. Andrea doesn't feel good." And I was like, "What?" And I immediately like broke down, mental breakdown. It I did not feel like prepared um,
Yeah.
as well as I wanted it to. Um,
Hmm.
and I feel as though my me doing Kay Howard, I had so much time with Megan Farley, who is our associate director,
Okay.
Mallory. So, and I didn't really have that, I felt, for Minnesota, which is fair because it's like a different
Mm.
situation.
Right.
Um, so I just mental breakdown, crying. I was, oh my God, I had my script out. I was like trying to do makeup and
Oh,
my nose and putting Andrea's costume on. Um, and then afterwards, I was just like crying, crying, crying because it was just like so stressful. It really felt like life or death a situation.
oh my gosh! Wow. And you're
And
like, this is supposed to be fun. You're like, this is 6, but like,
yeah,
I might pee my pants on stage.
yeah,
Like,
and like not to sound like egotistical or anything like
no,
that.
yeah.
My career as an actor, at like up until that point, I was doing more lead roles, and if I was an ensemble role, I was covering, somebody else, I never had to go on. So
Right.
I never had that experience until then, especially like that extreme, like an hour before.
Hmm.
Granted, it was for like a kids uh um
Was it like a student show or something? Like
it,
a
yeah, it was
school?
student,
Maybe a
it was
school came in.
student, so I don't even think they really knew what was happening anyway. But yeah, and like looking back on it now, I'm super proud of myself because I got
Right.
through it. I knew more than I thought I did, but it's just one of those like you just panic and you freak out, and it's like you can't control your body.
Right.
Um, and uh, yeah, so when I got to Broadway and that was my debut, I felt super excited. I felt ready, and I was like, you know what? If something bad happens, if I mess something up, I don't care because
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm pumped to be here. I feel super humble and grateful, and just gonna have fun with it. Um,
Right.
and I did. It was a blast, and I think it was the most fun I ever had on stage. So Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. On my friend Paige, I have to call you out, Paige. I saw Six the second time with my friend Paige, and she loves you, Courtney. She thinks you're an icon. So I had to give
Uh,
Paige a shout out. So one of the
my
comments
middle
says, what? Sorry?
Paige is my middle name.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Paige,
hi.
now you guys have something in common. Wow. Um, Someone in the comments just asked, I think I know this answer, and maybe I could be wrong, but were you able to pick the five alternates you covered, or how did that work? Asked Adrian Ray's .j.
So there was some like sort of conversation a little bit about it. I was originally supposed to be covering Cleves, like that was my instead of Aragon, I think.
Okay.
And I got it and I was like, ugh, Cleves? I could not imagine being Cleves. And then I don't know, did you see the Broadway production?
I have not yet,
Okay, well
but
there's like a surprise with Cleves that makes more sense to me watching it. I was like, oh, that could be me. So,
oh,
so yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. And then I had said like, oh, I think I'm more of an Aragon actually than a Cleves. And then Roberta was like, oh, you're more like soprano-y kind of whatever anyway. So that might be too low for you. So then I think ultimately they just switched it because Mallory can hit, I think, those lower notes more than I can. And but now I'm like, shoot, I want to be Cleves.
yeah. Well, who knows? Like maybe they'll need, maybe Britt will be out and Mallory and Nicole will be on already, and they need you for Cleves.
Yeah. Do you want to say hi to my fiance? He just walked in.
Sure. Hey Trey.
Hey,
Doing an Instagram.
Hi. How are you?
good. First time for me on this thing, so
Well, welcome. Congratulations on your engagement.
great it. Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
Be fun.
He just
Awesome.
snuck his way in here. I just
Yeah.
saw the door like
I,
and I was like, oh.
yeah. Trey, how did you
Well,
like Six when you first saw Courtney on?
what'd
When
you
you
say?
first saw her debut? How did you like Six seeing Courtney and as Kay Howard? Were you
Oh
obsessed
man,
with the show?
yeah, I was singing the songs like leaving the theater, and I don't know. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was until I got there and watched the show, and it was just obviously all the lights and it's just a big rock concert. It was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got
It's
called everyone and I was like, "Hey, you guys gotta come see this show. It's sweet." So
yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's such a crazy show. And I was telling Courtney, I saw the show in Boston twice, and it was just amazing. And how much the show has meant to me and the rest of the theater community has been awesome. So we're really appreciative of Courtney and Trey being a part of her journey with Six. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I'll get out of your hair, but nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. So we have a couple questions from the chat, if that's okay, if you want to answer some. So this first question that popped up is, what are your top three dream roles?
You know, I feel like when I was in college, I was more in like soprano land. Like I really wanted to be Laura Osnes. Um, especially since she was like from Minnesota and we're
Right.
so other. So I was like, oh my God, you know, she's like Midwestern gal, like I don't know. So I always thought like Cinderella and um I don't know. I was more into like the soprano stuff. So for a long time I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be Christine Daae, like watch out.
Top of the top of soprano.
Yeah, yeah. That was my dream for a real long time. Um, and you know, I feel like the roles that I thought were my dream roles, I don't know. I feel like I've already played some of my dream roles, like, and I didn't know it. Like, I loved Veronica and Heather's. I loved being tattoo girl in Sideshow. And, being an understudy for Violet. Actually, you know what? I would say Violet in Sideshow. I love that character. I wish I like got to play her proper, you know? Um, so maybe that. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like this show is like my dream role show, but I
Yeah.
feel like for going forward, I would love to do something that's more maybe like old school, golden age, like back to my kind of how I started, like soprano-y land.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Um, Another question was, if you can meet one of the actual queens, who would you want to meet and why?
I think somebody asked me this recently, and I think I would want to meet, I mean, I would love to meet all of them, but I would love, I think, to meet Aragon or Par, just because I think their lives are they're, yeah, they just had like unique stories. And like Aragon, I feel like would be super cool to talk to because she was with Henry the longest. Um, and Par, just because she did so many things in her life,
Right.
you know, especially for a woman during that time. It's kind of amazing to know that she did all that. So probably one of those two.
Yeah. I yeah, like those I agree. Like I would definitely Par like just like especially during I Don't Need Your Love when she's like I wrote books and songs and meditations like that was so crazy and then she even got a woman to paint her portrait which is like insane like she was just such a catalyst for all the queens were but I think
Yeah,
Par like especially her she got to have probably a longer legacy. I don't know the exact dates between the queens but she probably had enough time to make her mark in history.
right. Yeah, I think
um
she's cool.
yeah. Um, what has been your favorite part about being an alternate?
I think the fact that you just get to play and try on different hats, you know, I think as Kay Howard, when I was just doing Kay Howard, I was like, oh, I would kill to sing I Don't Need Your Love. Or
Yeah,
like I would love to just do No Way. Um, and now like that dream is coming to fruition and I get to like do that, which is so cool. And also like being able to wear different costumes
right.
um is super super fun. And I think if anything too, it's this being like my first like segue into Broadway. I'm gonna learn so much as being an alternate and being, you know, um, which hopefully will prepare for the future, I hope too. So, um, yeah, a lot of different things.
Yeah, and you just mentioned about the costumes. The next question is, what queen costume are you most excited for?
Ooh, probably Aragon.
Yeah, the gold spikes. Yeah.
Also, love, shoot, I forget her name. My memory is gone to, I'm sorry. Um, but I think she has a wig and her hair is like short, super dark.
Do you know what cast?
I think it was
Do you know if
Lauren.
it's
Lauren?
Lauren Drew? Lauren
Yeah,
Drew from the UK tour?
yes. So she, like, I'm pretty sure, um, you know, my hair is gonna be the short, like hers, you know, and then,
Mhm.
oh, I don't know. I can just picture it, and I think it'd be so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that costume, and the costume design and the whole show is amazing. Do you want to talk about what it was like putting on your Kay Howard costume for the first time and putting on? I know it was a bit of was it Andrea's Boleyn that you put on, or was that if you want to talk about the costumes and your experience with them.
So my costumes prior to Broadway or on Broadway or
If you
both.
want to talk about, let's talk about Broadway just for
Okay.
now.
So I wore, I think, Andrea's old top, and then I wore her new skirt because they hadn't made our costumes yet.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I don't know, I guess I can just like squeeze into Andrea's and Sam's costumes. And then for Sam's costume, I wore, so in Chicago, they made me my own K. Howard top, and that was like specifically mine, like for me. And then I wore the bottoms and the skirt that like Sam had. And then for Broadway, I wore my old top, I think. And I think I wore the new skirt. I forget what bottoms I had on. Maybe they were the old bottoms, but um yeah. So I mean, it was like it was all right. It wasn't like, me putting it on for the first time.
Right.
I played each one for the first time. Especially since like it's not our like actual costume, like
Right.
our own one. So I feel like it was okay.
Yeah.
It fit, which is
Yeah.
like
It
most
got the
important.
job done.
I think like the coolest thing was being able to get our like dancing shoes,
Oh, yeah.
uh, our like LaDuca shoes, boots, because prior to Broadway we had um uh like shoes from Amazon or something, like
Oh, wow.
super cheapo, like street shoes. And then when we finally got to Broadway, we got like nice dance shoes, which was super like bedazzled out and everything.
Yeah.
Fun. But yeah, the costumes are amazing. I'm super excited to be able to like get my own.
Yeah, I bet. And I know a couple people commented this in the chat, but I just want to make sure, like, if you want to clear it up, there is no special alternate costumes, correct? You guys are getting your own sets.
Not that I know of. As far as I know, maybe things have changed since, COVID happened, but
Mhm.
as far as I know, like we're still our, yes,
Yes,
Gabby is
Gabrielle.
amazing.
Yeah.
Um, uh, um, they said that we were getting our own costume for each, which, um, yeah. So I don't know.
I think that makes sense. I think, especially like with all the posters and stuff. And I know it was cool. I would have loved to see whatever color you would have gotten, but I think it makes sense because I know you're bringing yourself to the character of Aragon or Par, but I feel like you would want to look like the Par and, rock it
Well,
out.
I know when my family or friends came to see the show and like, um, uh, I think maybe Mal or Nicole were on, they were like, where's the gold one? Or like, where's the, like they miss the costumes because you're like,
Mhm.
each one has a very distinct look and color. So it's like, you kind of miss it, but at the same time, I love the differences in the alternate costumes in the UK.
Yeah.
But I also think for me as a performer, I would rather have the costumes of like each queen just to like, oh, I'm going to be Aragon. So I'm wearing this and I feel like a queen and I'm on top of the world. And like it gives you a very different feel on how you move and how you act versus like, you know, an alternate
Yeah.
costume. Like you can't really find that because you're wearing the same thing all the time.
Yeah, I agree with Holly, Janice, or Janice. I totally agree that yeah, it is it makes and especially how they're built because like Cleves has the shorts on, and if you were wearing um like a skirt or something, you were going on for Cleves, you would be moving differently than how Brit would be moving. Or I know it's
Right,
you guys are different performers, but you want to in a way keep the same consistency with the show, and I guess um we have
right.
another question is, what's your favorite thing about all the girls that you work with?
I think we're all just so different and we're all able to like coexist together.
Yeah,
Um, and I always feel like we have a good time together too. Um, and it's also nice just because we're all women, you know, we
right.
all um like women empowerment, like it's cool to be on this journey together and we all know like we feel each other's pain because we know how hard the show is and um, if somebody's struggling like we kind of lift each other up when we need it.
Yeah.
um because like after there were times, you know, after my I don't know if you came to the opening. Did you come to the opening of ART?
I think I think I came a week after because
Okay,
no, actually no, I didn't. I came right before like the official opening, not when you guys got to ART. I came like I think the Friday before your official opening.
okay. um Thank God because on opening night, like I had this like mental blank and I forgot my lines right before like, you know, Kay Howard goes and disses each queen.
hmm
And I picked it back up after um, I got to see more, but I went to Adriana and I was like, an Aragon, or oh wait, I don't even know what I say, to be honest. Um, but I'm like walking towards her
Yeah.
and, and I just like I'm just touching her shoulder and I'm just giving her a look. And Adriana is really trying to be like, you know, I went to a nunnery and stuff. And I was like, okay, moving on. And then
Right. You're
the
like, gotta
woman,
go.
you got your head chopped off. And then I got to Abby and then I finally got my crap together. But after that show, I was so embarrassed because it was opening night and like this that whole experience was so new to me because I didn't have the tech process that the other
Right.
girls had. I didn't go through all of that they did. So this was like a first for me. And so um I just started crying in the bathroom and I was like, oh my God, I feel so embarrassed. I just feel
Oh
bad.
no.
I messed up the show and I like feel bad because I like ruined the show for everybody
No.
and
Yeah.
so nice. So we really have each other's backs when um uh the moment calls for it, which is
Yeah.
nice.
That's awesome. I've never told you this before, but when I first went and saw Six, the first time I saw it, um, I don't know if they changed it before you guys officially opened, but you know, at the beginning of Ex Wives, how the curtain is closed,
Oh yeah.
there was this little black cord that was probably holding the two curtains together. And I was at one of the nights, because Adriana walks out first, I believe. She
Yep.
walked out, she hit the cord, but she kept going with it. And I was set like holding my chair. I was like, no, a queen cannot fall. A queen will not fall. They will not fall. You guys were perfect. You guys didn't fall, but the sheer panic, I like wanted to be like, where's an SM? Like where's like front of house? I was like, they're gonna like topple over.
I know. The curtain is like a huge issue. um, like I've gotten hit in the head before. I think one time one of the cords got wrapped around somebody's neck or something.
Oh my
So it's
god.
like it sometimes is a real issue. And we had issues specifically at ART because of like the air conditioning
Oh.
started too early because it made the uh
Did it just make it move too much? The fabric move a lot?
like fabric moved out or like in. I
I
don't remember.
noticed that.
Oh, out. It moved out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the time it dropped, it was like so far forward and it pushed it all forward and then it would like hit us sometimes.
Yeah, I noticed that because when I was sitting there the first time, I was like, "Is it supposed to be coming closer?" I was like, they have a budget on this curtain." I was
Mm.
like, okay, but now that is like interesting that like the different venues there, how they keep the house, and also like summer in Boston isn't too fun, so I bet they were trying to crank that AC up.
And also, like, I think we had some issues too with Broadway as well because it
Oh.
is a smaller house and ART is kind of a smaller house.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I've been in the Brooks to see Waitress, and yeah, I agree that it is a little bit.
or,
I've been. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it's funny how you guys replaced Waitress at the Brooks after they opened at ART. Like they
Mm-hmm.
had their. That is funny. I kind of just realized that. Yeah.
There
Another question. Oh, sorry. You go.
was this funny moment where we would kind of joke around with Abby sometimes. Um, and we were at ART and I think we were in like in a bakery or over by some like I don't know what we were doing. And Mallory was like, I dare you to go up to Abby and just be like, sugar, butter, flour.
I bet.
Because her sister
Need to
was
find out.
in
Yeah, yeah,
Waitress. So he gets that like a lot. Um,
yeah. I bet.
so we would, yeah.
Oh, Broadway figure skater just asked, "Who's the prankster out of all the queens?"
Um,
Is there anyone that does a lot of jokes backstage or pranks everybody?
I feel like I've scared some people sometimes at ART, but I don't think they liked it. So I just stopped.
they're like,
I love doing that
we've had enough.
backstage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like pranks and stuff, I don't think anybody really sorry, I keep getting all these calls. Um,
No,
um
you're okay.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like if anything, it's more so like how they act on stage. Like I feel like Brittany makes me crack up all the time. And Abby will also say like something's under her breath and I'm like, oh my God. So that's cracking up. So that's like some like on stage stuff, but like backstage, I feel like we don't really prank each other.
Okay. Okay, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Someone Paige Johnson. You good? Are you okay, Courtney?
Oh, sorry, you like froze.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, one of the questions was, have you and the other queens reunited over this little shutdown period? I know you've done stuff with Artists and Beyond. If you want to plug that.
Yeah, we're doing voice lessons on Artists and Beyond. I'm not doing master classes, but I know some of the queens are. Um, but yeah, if anybody wants a voice lesson, check us out on Artists and Beyond. I think we're almost all of us are on there. But yeah, we've had a couple reunions. we had like a kind of big one when like the middle of summer with like producers and cast crew, creatives, that kind of stuff. Um, and we've done like just a day ago, I did a Q&A with Mallory Nicole. There might be like another little thing we're doing, maybe, uh, maybe soon. Um, but yeah, we've kept in contact and gotten together a few times.
Nice. Yes, my friend Paige just said, I'm at college right now. I'm in my dorm room, so probably the crazy Wi-Fi. Gotta
It's all
love
good.
college. Gotta love college Wi-Fi, you know.
Yeah. How is college going for you?
It's good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm pursuing a BFA in theater, so that is very exciting. I'm looking to do a directing and management pathway because I love doing a lot of the social media aspect. So I hope I can like minor in PR as well. I
Cool.
it's so it's really good. It's strange doing college in the pandemic, but you know it's going good. We're already like a month in, basically a little over a month. It's yeah, it's going.
I feel for all of you guys that are in school, like people that are in high school, people that are in college. It's just like not the normal experience. So I feel for you
Oh,
all.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it is very interesting, but you know, it's fun, and I'm happy that it is a BFA program. I
Hmm.
was looking, I like really that was one of the things I was really looking at, and yeah, it's a great environment, and it's been awesome. Yeah, thank you for
Nice.
asking.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I'll do some wrap up questions because I don't know how long the Instagram lives go for. I think they're about an hour, and we're catching up to the hour mark.
Yeah.
So one of the closing questions I have prepared is why do you think audience members should come back to see Six once Broadway reopens?
Well, I think this show kind of opened at the perfect time. I mean, it's all women on stage. Our band is all women. We have our SMs are women. Um, they have made it a point to make it as many women as they can because it's mainly run by men. Um, and I think the fact that, well, each of their stories tell something so different. Like Kay Howard's, you learn about, you know, abuse and sexual assault and all this stuff. Um, so I feel like you can take away from each and every single queen in their story. Um, but what's also so great about our show is that it's so diverse. It doesn't have to be like you look at Aragon, doesn't matter if she is black, white, Asian, like Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Like
Mm-hmm.
you anyone can play these queens, you know?
Right.
Makes it super exciting. Um, and also like there's so many different body shapes on stage too. So I
Right.
think that the Toby and Lucy, the writers of the show, they did such a good job of just kind of making this show very modern, very now, and I think you can learn a lot of lessons from it.
Yeah. I just got sent a funny question. Oh, yes, I'll get to that. Someone just asked me if I was in Six. I know I could never be in Six, but someone said what was my dream role, and I think I'd wanted to either be Cleves or Boleyn. Get to get to do the funny stuff. That'd be
Yeah.
fun. And also like getting to get someone to get down because I was fortunate and I got to do that twice. Both times I saw the show, Brittany got me up. It was
Um,
the best. I'd
yeah.
love to do that, and Boleyn
Yeah.
too, like hysterical.
Yeah.
Um, and then last question to end up alive because I think we'll both have a good answer for this is favorite Schitt's Creek memory moments. You know, Love a good Schitt's Creek. Favorite
I,
show.
I answered this on the on the story, and I was
Oh,
like,
really?
an unfair question
I
because
know. It's so much to unpack.
there's so many good moments. Like I wrote anything Moira says is hilarious because she says it so weird and I just love it.
Yeah.
Like David.
Or the bebe.
Bebe. I love David because he reminds me of my best friend Alex. Um, and I think that's why he like I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm with my best friend all the time because they're so similar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love all of it. I can't
Yeah.
choose like one thing.
I know. I'm a huge Alexis fan. Alexis is my fave. I, I love Alexis. Yes. And like I just was crying at the Emmys when they all four of them. I was like, Annie just has to get the last one. Please let Annie get it. And then she got it.
It was
I was
very
so
deserved for
yes.
sure.
Yes. And for Halloween, a safe college Halloween, I'm gonna be David Rose. So
Yeah.
got the David glasses, you know.
Yes. I love
Gotta
it.
gotta crush it. So thank
Uh,
you,
little,
Courtney.
sorry,
Oh no, no.
there's a little picture. Um, it was either of a family or like little babies, and they were all dressed up as
Yeah,
like the family.
yes.
Like, oh my God, this is
That's
awesome.
that broke the internet, those babies. The cutest thing. Well, thank you, Courtney, so much. I don't want us to get cut off at this live. So everyone who's been asking, I'm gonna save this live. I'm gonna put it on the account. Hopefully it gets all saved. So thank you, Courtney, so much for going live with me today for the past hour. And
Thank you.
thank you for taking over today. I don't know if you're still planning on doing more, but I've just
I can if
been
you
okay. Perfect. Well, I've enjoyed having you, and you're so awesome and so sweet to me in this account. So I
want.
just want to say thank you so much.
Me. So thank you.
Oh, virtual hug, virtual hug. Because everyone who hasn't seen Six, this got the program, but this is ART. But pretend this says Playbill. It's okay. Go see Six when Broadway comes back. Hopefully sometime soon. Get to see Courtney on stage. I'm gonna be trying my best to come down to New York City whenever you're on, because have to relive the magic. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Courtney's going to be doing some more takeover stuff, so follow the story and have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.